G'day viewers, how are you? We've made it to the end of another week. Congratulations, particularly Australian viewers, because I mean, holy fuck, it's been a week, right? With the government just going, yeah, I know we're meant to run the country, but fuck you guys, while we have a bunch of shitty infighting, and it's just been a fucking shit show. I mean, I've been talking about it all week, but it's astonishing what a shit show was. Finally resolved today, and yes, Australia has a new Prime Minister, but wow, the twists and turns that happened this week was something to behold. And the final build-up to the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, saying, well, I'm not even going to have a party room discussion unless I see a letter with a majority of the parliamentary party's signatures on it saying, we need to have this meeting. And that didn't apparently come forward till about half an hour before the deadline. And basically what we saw today in Australian politics is a sitting Prime Minister who knew he was fucked, just going, fuck all of you motherfuckers. I'm going to cause as much trouble as I possibly fucking can on the way out. And he really, for someone who basically had nothing to win and was going to lose everything, he did a pretty fucking spectacular job, quite honestly, because the person who was, you know, his main attacker from the extreme right of his own party, one Peter Dutton, he basically managed, so it is a really weird double for Malcolm Turnbull. Like, even though he lost, even though he is no longer Prime Minister, he made Peter Dutton his bitch, which was pretty fucking interesting, quite honestly. He forced Dutton to dance to his tune and present a petition saying, yep, we're going to have a party vote. But then he said, also, I'm not going to stand. If this vote happens, I resign. I'm done. Fuck all of you. I'm out. Suck my dick. I'm gone. And which means someone apart from Malcolm was going to run against Peter Dutton. And this turned out to be quite the masterful move, because it turned out to be a three-way contest between the racist potato Peter Dutton, Turnbull's deputy Julie Bishop, and Scott Morrison, who's also on the Conservative side of the Big L Liberal Party. And in the first wave of votes, Julie Bishop got knocked out. Then it was Morrison v Dutton, and Morrison won. So after all the shit where Dutton is seen as basically shitting in the face of the Australian public, wrecking party standards, being incredibly destructive and self-centered, he did not even win the leadership. It went to Scott Morrison. Now, as during the week I've been saying what a piece of shit Dutton is and how much I don't like him, people go, oh, are you happy that it's not him, it's Scott Morrison? Well, I'm happy that Dutton got made to eat a big old shit sandwich, because there's nothing quite like these uber right, born to rule fuckers getting a dose of reality and not getting what they want, which is nice. And the fact that dude is almost certain to lose his seat at the next election is a plus as well. And it's super weird because he's also been implicated, he's got ownership in some childcare centres that got government funding that under the Constitution may mean he's not eligible to sit in Parliament. Now, there was some official legal advice to the government that said, okay, Dutton's probably okay. And Dutton's going, yes, I'm super okay. You're like, no, dude, the advice was you're probably okay, not definitely okay. If it went to the High Court, you may be found to not be eligible to sit in Parliament, which made the vote today super fucking weird. The Liberal Party were literally voting, hey, can this guy, who maybe isn't even legally able to sit in the Parliament, should we make him our leader? I mean, you might think, hey, possibly we should sort that out conclusively. Possibly that should go to the High Court before we consider voting for him. But no, it went to a vote. But he lost. And what was interesting, I mean, while Turnbull got thoroughly shat on, he has a couple of things he can kind of hold his head up on. One is, the first thing he did is go, okay, we've got the meeting, now everyone vote. Are we going to do declare the leadership vacant? Vote for a spill. And the vote only went 45 to 40 to actually have a vote against him. And that's a pretty fucking thin margin. That literally means only 3 people needed to change their vote for him to not get knocked off. So that is not a sign of like stability and unity. And so, okay, it was declared open. And then again, Morrison won the vote 45 to 40. So the party is almost divided down the fucking middle. And they expect to go to a vote sometime in the next 6 or so months and have the Australian public go, yeah, we should probably vote for them again. Yeah, they're probably a pretty good government. They fucking hate themselves and they can't govern and they've achieved the square root of fuck all. But maybe we should... Oh, no, like these guys are so fucked. It's just absolutely astonishing. So Morrison's probably going to delay the election for as long as possible to try and get the Australian public to love him, which I will go out on a limb right now and say is not going to be particularly successful. Because you see, people say, is he better than Dutton? Well, kind of, maybe by about this much. Because what Scott Morrison is an evangelical Christian. He belongs to one of those megachurches. In fact, what's probably Australia's only megachurch, known as Hillsong. I know in the US there's a bunch of these megachurches where the church holds thousands of people and they raise tax-free millions of dollars. And Hillsong preaches this prosperity gospel. The idea that, yes, just pray hard enough to Jesus and you will be healthy and wealthy. With the not so subtle message that if you aren't wealthy, it's because you don't love Jesus enough. Like, basically the literal, complete fucking opposite of the actual Bible. Man, I fucking went to Catholic school. I read the Bible. I know the Bible. And the key part for these fuckers in churches like Hillsong or cunts like Joel Osteen in the States is like, the Bible tells us exactly what would fucking happen if Jesus came down to earth and ended up in your temple, and that's kicking over tables and whipping motherfuckers in the face. That is the actual Bible telling us what would happen to you if Jesus came down and landed amongst you. Okay? So this is our new Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, evangelical Christian, the architect of the worst elements of our border policy and our torturing of asylum seekers. He's voted against penalty rates. He voted against marriage equality. He's basically out of touch with a significant majority of the Australian populace. But put him in as your leader because he's marginally better than Peter Dutton. And you motherfuckers are going to get slaughtered at the next election. And I, for one, cannot fucking wait. And also, I can't wait for this to stop being the main thing. Because, so many big things. I love talking about the Trump clusterfuck. But my mind has been a bit occupied by local issues this week. But seriously, in the last week or two, what's happened with Trump? His fucking lawyer pled guilty to really serious charges. The former head of his election campaign was found guilty of enough serious crimes to potentially go to jail for life. And Trump is clearly losing his shit over this. And his lawyer, Cohen, actually said in court, I committed these crimes at the specific instruction of Donald Trump. And that's been accepted by the court as a statement of fact. It's like, you you really think Trump's getting out of this okay when it's being put on table in court that his lawyer committed quite serious crimes at the direct instruction of Donald Trump? And oh wow, and yeah, Trump's been listening. Although I did find it humorous, Trump in one of his random unhinged Twitter sprays talked about, oh, if you want a good lawyer, don't hire Michael Cohen. He's bad. Well, first, it's absolutely deranged that the President of the United States is doing these Twitter rants where he derides his lawyer, who he has multiple times said was a totally awesome guy. But it is interesting that that's actually good advice. Like, if you want a good lawyer, don't hire Michael Cohen. I mean, the evidence is there. It is not a good idea to have Michael Cohen as your lawyer. So it's an interesting dichotomy that Trump is A, being deranged, but B, saying some stuff that is quite honestly factually true. But it's not mutually exclusive. To say Michael Cohen is a scumbag is not to say Donald Trump is not a criminal. The two coexist quite happily. And it's like absolutely hilarious because I occasionally get hate comments on quite old videos and it cracks me up. Like these motherfuckers who don't seem to understand my entire intention with the videos was to upset them. So when they put these comments like, fuck you! It just makes me laugh. And probably the two that make me laugh the most is like on old videos where I may have said something like, Trump's going to jail, and he's not in jail yet. Yeah, not yet. And you fucking morons obsess over that. Clinton, lock her up, lock her up. The Republicans have been after the Clintons and been slamming them since the 90s with all sorts of quite deranged conspiracies, the sum total of which, after decades, is fuck all. No indictments, no convictions, nothing. And in just 2 years of the Trump presidency, there's been all these indictments and convictions and guilty pleas. And you still act like Clinton's the one with the problem, when basically everyone surrounding Trump is under this cloud of either investigation or prosecution or conviction. But you still think Clinton's the one that's going to get locked up, not Trump. Cracks me up. But probably even more than Trump, the one that really makes me laugh is Alex Jones groupies. Occasionally, on videos that have been up for ages, people get super angry, like, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, seriously, if you adhere to the Alex Jones conspiracies at all, I regard you as the most pathetic, worthless, unintelligent, gullible fuckwits on the planet, and your anger just feeds me, and I laugh every time you leave one of your stupid fucking comments because you are the scum of the fucking earth.